السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا guys, how is everyone? Everyone enjoying themselves? Okay, assalamu alaikum guys, I'm just gonna share this inshallah. I'll be back. Okay, so I hope all of you guys are well. I hope you guys are all enjoying yourselves. So I thought I'd got some free time, so I thought I'd make a little Q&A for you guys. So what I'm going to talk about, I'm talking about studies. Yeah. What should I study or how should I study? Right. So one of the common things that people ask me is, they ask me about Arabic grammar. Anyone who is studying Arabic grammar needs to know some fundamental things, right, I think, before they actually go into Arabic grammar. Otherwise, they will be wasting a lot of their time. Anyone who's studying, let's say, usul hadith or usul fiqh or hadith or any sort of science, there must be some certain fundamental things that they must need to know beforehand before they actually get into the kind of science itself. And this is because when a person gets into a science and he doesn't know what he's getting himself into, or she doesn't know, then what happens is they end up spending so many years studying the same thing again and again and again and again, eventually burning themselves out and not really being very productive. So these are certain things that that need to be studied. If you have any questions, by the way, ask the question in the comments, inshallah, and I'll try to answer them as I go along. So when a person is studying Nahu, for instance, what should a person study? Arabic grammar. What should a person focus on? There is only, I would say, in the whole of Arabic grammar, there is only two things that you really need to focus on in Arabic grammar. The first thing is you need to identify the states of the words. That is the most fundamental thing in Arabic grammar, I would say. Yeah, that's one of the most fundamental things in Arabic grammar. And the reason for this is because some people will study Arabic grammar and they'll be studying it for years on end and end, and you're thinking to yourself, Ya Allah, it seems very kind of burdensome that a person has to go and study Arabic grammar for so many years and they don't get to study anything else. It's like, imagine a person learns all the highway code by heart inside out, but never gets to drive, never drives on the roads. It doesn't make sense. So Arabic grammar, the first thing that you need to kind of focus on in Arabic grammar is the states of words, because the states of words will tell you, whether this word is an object, if it's a subject, or whatever it is. That's the first thing that you need to focus on. Yeah, the states of word, like we say rafa, nasab, jar. I think that is the main thing that you need to study. The second thing, which I think is a more secondary issue, is studying types of words. Yeah, so types of words, as in, like, if it's singular, if it's dual, if it's plural, if it's feminine, if it's masculine. That's like a secondary thing, I think. I don't think that is a primary thing. Yeah, and a lot of people, they focus on this because, remember, any text that you read, you actually do not need Arabic grammar for it, except for a small amount, I would say. So anything you read, even the Quran, I would say, to a degree, if you were to read the Quran, the Arabic grammar is very secondary. Yeah, and the main thing that you have to study in Arabic grammar, or when you're studying the Quran, is the translation of the words. As long as you got translation of the words, as long as you know what you're saying, what you're reading, the meaning is fine, right? Why study Arabic grammar if the translation of each word gives you the meaning of the sentence? So you need Arabic grammar to focus on the small little details which are important. That's what you need. So I'm not saying do not study all of Arabic grammar. Yes, study all of Arabic grammar, but make sure you're studying Arabic grammar with this focus in mind. Your aim is to, first of all, understand the states of words. That's the most important thing, I would say. And then after that, you can focus on other things, like if it's a word singular, or is it dual, is it plural, is it masculine, is it feminine, is it definite, is it indefinite? Yeah, those are kind of, I would say, secondary things really. But the primary thing would be the states of the words. Khalas. So that would be studying Arabic grammar. And you don't need to study too much Arabic grammar as well. I mean, as long as you study 2 or 3 books of Arabic grammar, a good progressive level, I think that's sufficient. You don't need to go into detail, especially when it comes to, if you're not going to really kind of go in depth in Arabic grammar. And I do these videos of tarkeeb online, but I don't really see much benefit of doing tarkeeb when the aim of the student is to become just a master of tarkeeb. I don't see the benefit of that. I'rab and tarkib, there is no real benefit in just studying tarkib for the sake of tarkib. Yes, studying tarkib to apply your grammar and to understand general ideas in the sentences, I think that's a very good thing. But otherwise, there'll be some people who will be just studying tarkib because they feel they have to study tarkib, which is not necessarily the case. You don't have to study tarkib in that sense. So I would say, chill out. Don't study more than what you need to study. Study the right amount, and that's it. Move on. The next thing. Okay, let's see some of your questions now. Right, I self-study grammar. Do I need a teacher? I mean, you don't need a teacher for self-studying Arabic grammar, but you're going to get stuck in a lot of places, especially if you start to go to advanced level. You're going to get stuck in a lot of places, guaranteed. Any good book for tarkib in English, Urdu? I don't know, not English, Urdu. Okay, بلغت مدينتي ما شاء الله ما شاء الله أهلا وسهلا الحمد لله يا أهل Wolverhampton. Okay, so any other questions, guys? Have you guys got any questions for me today? Now, my videos, as you have probably noticed this week, I haven't been putting up too many videos. Main problem is my laptop's been playing up. So I'm still saving up for new equipment, and inshallah, hopefully I should have soon. Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, my laptop that I use for all my things, all my work, it's starting to crash. So that's why I'm having problems with it. So hopefully, inshallah, by next week I should get that sorted. And also I've got some courses this weekend, so I'm quite busy with that as well. Assalamu alaikum assalam. Which books would you recommend in English relating to history, especially Al-Andalus, Umayyad? Andalus, Umayyad, I don't know any English sort of books, There are, a lot of books that are written by Orientalists, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too well read up on Spanish history. So Spanish history, I'm not too sure. That's something which you'll have to ask someone who's into Spanish history. Adil, alaikum salam, rahmatullah, ahlan wa sahlan. Adil, I receive all of your messages and all of your tourist pictures and historical facts of Saudi Arabia, mashallah. Very interesting. Really enjoy them. Jazakallah khair for taking. Maybe you should make a vlog or so. Why don't you make a vlog or something, recording, and you upload it, so people who don't like reading too much can see all these things. It'd be a good thing, especially with a lot of the kind of historical sort of images, and people see them. Yeah, excellent. I think that would be a good idea. I've seen some people in Medina. They've got Facebook pages. It's in Arabic, and they put up like historic sites where certain incidents occurred in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So they kind of take images, pictures, and they upload it, and then they give it a bit of background to them. Because I think we're living in a time now. Okay, Hanafi ulama in Hufuf. Yeah, these kind of names that you come out with. I've never heard that Saudi had these names. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of Hanafis in Ahsa. Yeah, but where exactly is Ahsa? I don't really know where that is. Yeah, I hear about it a lot. Have you been there? Yeah. So how far is that from the famous cities? Okay, Hufuf is in Ahsa. Okay, all right. What's your opinion on studying part-time course versus full-time? Okay, MH, I did get your email, by the way. Yeah, inshallah, I'll try to answer your email this weekend, because my emails, I just get so many emails. So I'll try to answer your email this weekend, inshallah. Okay, part-time versus full-time. I would say the thing to remember about studying is that when you study any sort of course, the main thing to remember is trying to absorb the information. For some people, intensive full-time courses are not the right thing, because I know lots of people who have gone through full-time courses, but they haven't really come out benefiting 100%. They come out benefiting 20% or 30% or 40%. Whereas I see some people who have done part-time courses, and they come out and they're very conscious of the ilm that they studied. They're very kind of enthusiastic. They still have that zeal to kind of further their research. And sometimes you see people who have studied full-time. And maybe it might be a good idea for me to make every one of my videos actually on this, the differences between studying full-time and studying part-time, benefits of each one, and where they lack and the cons for each one as well. So that's my personal observations from what I've seen of that. Okay, So how did Orientalists become so knowledgeable in Islam? Where and how did they study? Was it with traditional ulama? Orientalists is, I mean, Orientalism is a kind of like sort of like a department in university that they study. So it's basically the Orient sciences, the Eastern sciences. Many of them have studied from traditional places, and many of them have just kind of very kind of superficial, shallow sort of research they do. But because they are well accredited and recognized in the Western world for obviously being part of famous universities, or having famous books that are written and published by these universities, they get recognition. Our ulama, the traditional ulama, are very, very much stronger than them in knowledge, and very well known in the Muslim community, but not very well known in the academic university secular society. So that's why they don't really get that same credit. But I mean, when I read the Orientalist books, they are very, very shallow, I would say, superficial as well in the topic. Sometimes there might be one guy who is someone who has trained in a certain department, certain field, certain topic, and when he talks about another topic, you can see how he's kind of waffling around and he's talking silly. Yeah, so you get that. So I'm not really that impressed by Orientalists. They just kind of very not write nicely, and because they look at it from an onlooker, they give it a fresh view, and I think that's what's appealing to a lot of people. هل اشتريت سيارة؟ لا ما اشتريته الآن، أبحث. Okay, no problem. جزاك الله خير. You're welcome. What is your opinion on al-kalam and philosophy? Al-kalam and philosophy. Okay, so my opinion on kalam, أهلا وسهلا من Indonesia. The thing about philosophy is, look, philosophy is always going to be there. I mean, philosophy is just a way people kind of see the world, their ideas and their kind of concepts that they formulate in their minds regarding certain issues. So, I mean, you have philosophy of Nahu, Arabic grammar, you have philosophies of fiqh, you have philosophy, you can call them philosophies to a degree as well. So there's philosophies in that sense. Usul maybe even as well, like usul. When it comes to ilm al-kalam, I think that ilm al-kalam in today's times is a very important tool that we need, especially to combat things like atheism, or to combat things that Islamophobia on many fronts. Yeah, because a lot of these kind of ideologies that people are presenting, ilm al-kalam is basically like the fiqh of aqidah, and it's a very, very useful and tool that we can use, a logical sort of way of trying to disprove other people's arguments and prove our own arguments through logic. And logic is the thing that a lot of the people will accept, but they're not going to accept Quran and Sunnah if they're atheists. So I think it's a very important tool for today's times, and a lot of people use it anyway without even knowing. You are using concepts of ilm al-kalam in arguments. I mean, if someone brings an argument to you about something like can AI, artificial intelligence, can that become God? Can God be artificial intelligence? Why can't artificial intelligence be God? In other words. So I mean, ilm al-kalam would answer that very easily. Henry Stubb and the Beginning of Islam is a great book to read. First Orientalist to write positively about Islam. Okay, interesting. Random question: what's your opinion on India, Pakistan? Sorry, I had to random question. I look at this India and Pakistan thing, and I just think to myself, you know what? Indians and Pakistanis have always been like this, since the split. You always have in Pakistan and India those people who are neutral, who don't want to say anything. You always have those people who are very hot-headed, and they have to say something about Pakistan, or they have to say something about India. And even when they've come here to this country, they brought their baggage with them. So I think that a lot of this hoo-ha that's going on at the moment is just political, sort of like, what do you call it? Showing off. I think that's all it is. And there's no real kind of reality behind it. They're not really going to do anything. Yeah, because their borders are very close, and this is the same people on both sides in reality. Same people. You got Muslims in India, you got Muslims in Pakistan, you got Hindus in India, you got Hindus in Pakistan, you got Sikhs, you got other religions. So I mean, I'm not really too much into politics anyway. An Orientalist has translated Al-Ibriz by Sheikh Al-Dabbagh. Have you read this? No, I haven't read it. Okay, Shamima Begum. Shamima Begum? Okay. Oh, is that woman, the ISIS woman? Yeah, I mean, again, I don't really know the whole reality of. I haven't read any of the articles. I haven't really watched any of the news interviews on it. So I'm not really too much into kind of news and too much into politics. Maybe it'd be best to ask someone who's a good political analyst. They'll probably give you a much better answer. Majid Fakhri books are good on read for a general understanding of the history of Islamic philosophy. Ilm al-Kalam. Majid Fakhri. Okay, so new name. I haven't heard this before. Yeah, so when it comes to these kind of topics of politics, I mean, personally, I believe if a person is strong and he has a well-grounded understanding in a certain field, then by all means they should be allowed to speak and talk about that topic. But if a person is not really kind of educated in a particular area, in a particular department or field, and they speak about that field, and even if their words sound very nice, I think that at the end of the day they're going to make some very serious mistakes, and they say things off the cuff, and then later on they regret what they said. So I think everyone should speak according, stay in their lane basically, wherever lane you're kind of an expert in, and unfortunately social media hasn't really kind of deterred people in any way. If it hasn't done anything, it's actually encouraged people to talk about anything under the sun. So you get people on social media talking about hadith and talking about usul and talking about aqidah and talking about atheism and talking about Hinduism and Sikhism and this and that and all of the religions, even though they probably just read a few articles here and there online. So personally, if I'm not very comfortable, if I'm not very well grounded in a certain field or trained, then I don't like speaking about it because I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys those kind of barbershop kind of guys who in the barbershop will ask questions and they'll just go for it? Okay, ink dries. Ink dries is a good name. That is, I like that. Ink dries, very kind of deep name. Ink dries. Alaikum assalam. How do I dream of the Prophet ﷺ in Bukhari? Sometimes I feel physical pain from missing him. Okay, so I mean, seeing the Prophet ﷺ in a dream is without a doubt a very, very noble and high, luxury that people get. And many of the ulama in the past, and many non-ulama as well, pious good people, saw the Prophet ﷺ in their dreams. So I think it's a very, very good thing. I don't know how to see the Prophet ﷺ in the dream, but I mean, seeing the Prophet ﷺ in the dream would probably be the more you love him. Yeah, the more love you have for the Prophet ﷺ, the more salutations you send on him, the more you kind of follow his ways. I think that is the thing that will really kind of bring a person to see the Prophet ﷺ in his dream. Otherwise, I mean, I don't. I remember I saw the Prophet ﷺ in my dream. So I was basically in college, and in college I decided to start practicing. So this was like in the second year of college, A levels. This was like in the 90s. So I started practicing, and it was a Thursday night, and I bought myself an imama, a turban to tie on my head. And what happened was, so I thought to myself, tomorrow I'm gonna go college. I'm gonna go to my class, biology class here, and the biology teacher, she was an atheist anyway. Yeah, so I don't care about that. So I was gonna think, I'm just gonna walk in class with this turban on my head, yeah, with like Pakistani clothes on, and inshallah that's it. Jummah I'm gonna be first time with imama. So all night I was trying to tie it with my right hand. I was tying it. I'm trying to get that kind of right kind of those kind of the curls in the imama, and I wasn't getting it. And I tried the left side as well, and I was turning it and I wasn't getting it. So anyway, what happened basically was, I got tired. About 45 minutes, you're standing in front of a mirror and you're trying to tie a turban on your head. It hurts your arms. If any of you guys tried it, you guys know. So what happened was, that night, I went to sleep. And in my dream, I saw a man, and someone was saying he's Bilal radiallahu anhu. So Bilal, he was wearing this, I don't know, I can't remember the clothing he was wearing, but it was like in an old school. And he said to me, come, the Prophet wants to see you. So I was saying, me? So I went into the room, and it was like this old room, like old schools where they have that kind of wooden floor and a wooden smell everywhere. It was like a very old place, I remember that. And then I went inside and I saw this young kid, and he was wearing white, and I couldn't see his features properly. But in my mind, it was just someone was saying to me that this is the Prophet ﷺ, this is the Prophet ﷺ. And I fell down on the ground crying. All I could remember was me crying because I got to meet the Prophet ﷺ. So I woke up. So it was in the morning. What if I was thinking to myself, that's it. That's a sign, I think, that don't give up. Just wear your imama, whatever happens. So I go, okay, TK. I went for it. So I put my imam on my head, and it was just like random, some some rough style, roadman style kind of imam on my head. So anyway, I went, caught the bus in the morning, 2 buses I had to catch. And I went there, yeah. And I went to class, and I walked in class, and I got late as well. That was a strange thing. I got late, and when I went in, everyone turned their heads towards me, and I got this big imam on my head, yeah. And I just went and I just ignored everyone, and I sat in my place. So my friend, in one of the lessons, he goes to me, "What have you done? Like, why have you tied like that for? You messed it up." He goes, "I'll show you how to tie it." So the guy then took me to the side later on in break time, and he kind of did this kind of folding kind of thing you see in some people where the imam is like really ironed and folded up. He showed me that technique, and then I put that on my head, and then alhamdulillah, that was basically when I saw. So alhamdulillah, you see him in different situations. How do you keep a strong relationship with God and have faith? Modern science interfere with while in college about God, a lot of confusion and thoughts. Okay, so let's first of all answer this question. Right, so how do you keep a strong relationship with God? You know what? In reality, there is no way to keep a stronger relation with God except through the Quran. And wallahi, this is the tried and tested method. You must have a strong connection with. I don't mean just reading Quran, like parrot fashion. Understand what the Quran says. If you understand what the Quran says, it just affects your heart so much that any sort of kind of waswasas and thoughts that people put into your mind, the Quran just has this power to push them out. So I would say have a strong connection with the Quran, and when you read the Quran is just such a sophisticated. I actually had a talk this week in Birmingham University. It was what was it about? Miracle of the Quran. It's on, if you go on Facebook, if you go on to Birmingham University's ISOC, it's recorded there, so you can watch it there. And I was going through the different ways that the Quran is a miracle, and there were non-Muslims in there as well. When I was preparing for this course, I swear, no exaggeration, I was preparing for this course, and every time I was studying about a certain aspect, it just made my heart stronger, my confidence in Allah and Islam, and the words of Allah especially. That it just made me 100% sure that this is from Allah. And it's a personal journey. There's no kind of 10-step sort of like method of getting to Allah. It's all a personal journey. But I think the Quran is at the root of all of it. So I would say, learn the Quran, bro. Learning, getting into the Quran, learn about Arabic. There's boxing from Mr. What I hit in the face. I would say if it's not professional boxing, then I would say there's scope for it. Professional boxing I have issues with, because it's proven through medical sort of like journals about the damage it causes people, long-term damages. So I would avoid professional, but I would say if it's like something where you're sparring, training, things like that, I don't have an issue with. With Osman, what do you study in college? Okay, so that's questions for Osman. Science. Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to ask how many I increase my iman. I am a revert to Islam, and I feel sad sometimes for being brother Iris Gonzalez. Don't worry, my brother. Me as a Muslim, sometimes I even feel sad as well. Sometimes, we all have problems. Remember this, guys. Allah has designed us as humans. We are designed as humans. We are not designed as angels. We are not designed as superhumans. We will go through difficulties. We will go through hardships. We will go through problems. Look at the Prophet ﷺ, and look at the Quran. How the Quran motivates the Prophet ﷺ when he used to be down, when he used to be upset. We all go through these kind of things. If you want to kind of keep your faith strong, I would say there's certain things you have to do in your life. Number one is you have to attend Salat in a congregation. Salat in congregation is very important for keeping that kind of connection. So first thing, try to attend as many salats in the congregation as possible. Number two is make some buddies, make some friends, Muslim friends that you regularly, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, you hang out with. Start that regularly. Some good people, some good nice, they don't have to be scholars or anything, some good nice people, hang around with them. And number three is start studying. Start studying, and you'll see, inshallah, try these 3 things. And inshallah, I'm going to make dua for you, okay? And don't worry, inshallah. We all go through these kind of things, and we just need reminders sometimes. I need a reminder sometimes, support. You guys need reminders as well. We all need reminders. The whole point of us being an ummah and being one community is we remind each other. I do these videos so that we remind each other. you know, when I see you guys coming on and you see me coming on, it kind of gives each other a kind of mutual boost of iman and strength. Okay, I'm a revert. I feel I want to learn to read the Quran. Is there someone teach online? Okay, so if you go to my YouTube channel, I've made a whole series of videos that helps you to learn Quran. Try to go through those, and then after that, I would suggest studying with someone private one-to-one. You can study. I mean, you can online. There's lots of people out there. I'm sure that if you contact them, they'll be able to help you on this. Yeah. So, but on my YouTube channel, it's called Roots of Knowledge. If you go on there, I made a whole, it's free of charge. You just go on there, you watch the videos, and lots of people have benefited, alhamdulillah, and giving good feedback on it. So try that out, Rafika. May Allah make you see the Prophet. Ameen, Ameen, and make Allah make you see as well. Ink dries. Student of Deen, Assalamu alaikum ya Ustadina, kayf al-hal? Alhamdulillah, ana bi khair, ana bi khair, ana bi khair. Yeah, I didn't do my ana bi khair video this week. Is Ghadir al-Azim and Ma'i Kathir the same thing? Yeah, Ghadir al-Azim, Ma'i Kathir is the same thing. Yeah, in fiqh. Yeah, both the same, considered to be the same thing. It's just a large pool of water. That dream, alhamdulillah. Oh, sorry, your sister. Oh, okay, Iris. Ah, sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very bad with names. Yeah, so, you know, I'm the one to blame. So, Sister Iris, inshallah, may Allah give you strength in your iman and give you strength in your faith, inshallah. And we all go through the problems. Remember, you know, people go through problems. Sahaba went through problems in their lives. If they were the best people that walked the face of the earth and they went through problems and they were in times of low and they used to go to the Prophet ﷺ and tell him that, you know, sometimes our iman goes down. And the Prophet ﷺ used to just say to them, look, this is what iman is. Jihad, mashallah, alaikum assalam, rahmatullah, alhamdulillah, I am very well. Nice to see you as well. A long time no see. Where have you been? Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. Okay. If you see the Prophet ﷺ in a dream, does it have to match the exact description of the Shama'il? There's a difference of opinion. Yeah, there's a difference of opinion. Some of them say that you have to see him exactly how he was described in the Shama'il. Others say no, you don't have to see him exactly like that, but you have to see him in some sort of a good fashion, in a good kind of way. So yeah, because it comes in a narration that the shaitan will not take the form of the Prophet ﷺ. What's your favorite food? My favorite food, Usman. Let me just hit myself on the head. There. This is the question I hate. This is my worst question. Yeah, so worst question in the world is this, the favorite questions. Because this is the tough. I've actually been watching this this guy on YouTube recently, yeah. He's a Saudi guy, and the guy goes around the world and he's tasting these foods, man. And I'm telling you, some of these places, the food just looks so succulent. Yeah, if I had the ability, if I had chance here to go around the world, if someone paid me to go around the world and taste food, obviously halal food, and I can't eat haram food, to taste halal food around the world and make videos on it, you know, I would love to do that. Obviously not full time, because then who's going to be teaching and who's going to be learning? Got to do that as well. But if I could do that, I would love to do that. You know, I think recently the food that I've had really nice is has anyone had there's this burger I had, man. It was what was that beef called? I forgot the name of the beef. It's a very soft, very nice, very delicate kind of beef. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, man. So anyway, I had that, and I don't know what it's called, but that beef burger was excellent, very soft and nice, and it had jalapenos in there, or jalapenos. I don't know how you say it. Is it with the jalapenos or jalapenos? I had that. You know what? That was next level, guys. Please, can you upload clips from Hidayah? Okay, Hidayah. I mean, the thing is, Hafiz Shu'aib, I would love to make Hidayah, but the thing is, it's just at the moment I'm very busy with time. But inshallah, hopefully. I'm gonna try, if I get time in the future, I'll try to. How may I bring up to my parents, non-Muslims, that I want to wear the hijab? Okay, so, you know, I would say, you know, when it comes to issues, especially with like reverts, people have accepted Islam, take it easy, strengthen, make sure your parents see the goodness of Islam in you. Yeah, that's the main important thing, I would say. So let them see the goodness of Islam in you, and make lots of dua for them. A time will come where Allah will soften their hearts to this. Inshallah, time will come. And I've heard it so many times as well. Yeah, don't rush into these kind of things, because sometimes it becomes difficult to be able to kind of interact with them then, because they become defensive. So take your time, easy, show them the good character that you have, the teachings of Islam. Slowly bring these things in, and inshallah Allah will give you lots of support as well. From the unseen, Allah will give you support. There was once this lady. She accepted Islam. So she accepted Islam in I think it was Puerto Rico, in a place where there was no Muslims at all. So this guy was communicating with her, was giving her da'wah. So he asked me, he said to me, like, what should I do? And I said, look, just convince her, make her firm on Iman, on her faith. Make her see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's going to help her in any situation, but she has to stay firm in her. Alhamdulillah, I didn't hear from the guy after. About a year or 2 years later, this sister, mashallah, her family were against her accepting Islam. She eventually opened up about her Islam. She got in contact with the local masjid, and the local masjid was like about 2-hour drive away. She went there. She actually then, I think she got married, and so many good things happened for her. So alhamdulillah, inshallah, don't worry about that, inshallah. Try your best, inshallah. I will make dua as well. Kobe beef, no, I can't afford Kobe beef, man. Wa alaikum assalam, Farhan, ahlan wa sahlan. Alhamdulillah, I'm very good. Buffalo burger, no, not buffalo burger. It's called something, it's a bull, yeah, and it's got lots of hair on it. It's a cow that's got lots of hair on it. What are those called? What are your thoughts on Professor Abdul Halim's Quran dictionary? It's expensive, but I am considering buying it. I have not seen anything on that level. I haven't seen it. If you can send me a link to it or something. Will you ever do the 70 lessons Quranic Arabic again on Skype? The 70 lessons Quranic Arabic, I don't know, maybe, inshallah, might do end of the year. I'm not too sure. But I mean, are you interested in it? Okay, which 5 to 10 books would you recommend every Muslim to have in their homes? Okay, so which 5 to 10 in their homes? It depends what level of kind of education, what kind of passion you have. I would say Quran, obviously, first of all. You guys tell me what books you guys would have. I say, for me personally, Quran. Number 2, it'd probably have to be, I think, maybe, I don't know, Badaya Sanai, I think it's a Hanafi book. I think it's very, very, maybe Muwatta Imam Malik. Imam Ghazali's Mustasfa. Yeah, I've read a bit of that. Haven't read all of it, but I've heard lots of good things about it. And it's a very kind of nice book as well. And what else? I don't know. Yeah, tough one. Tough question, guys. Wa alaikum assalam. Student of knowledge. I'm learning from online and personally too. At times having doubts in Arabic grammar. I know you're too busy, but just wanted to ask, will you have time to clarify grammar doubts? If I email, yes, you can email, inshallah, and if I get a chance, I'll respond. Where are you from? Me, I am originally, I was asking where my parents and grandparents are from. I'm born and brought up in the UK, but my parents, grandparents are from Pakistan, North Pakistan. What's the best way to stay up to date with courses that you might do online? Best way is probably, I actually advertise them on my Facebook or YouTube. Yes, Sister Fatima, you can email, inshallah. I'm very much interested. How many committed people would you need a week in to happen? I mean, usually, I only run a class if I get about 6 people. Has to be about 6 people. Okay, what do you think about Maqasid, Sharia relevance to our day and age, especially as put forward by Ibn Ashur? Okay, so Maqasid, I think Maqasid, generally the Madhahib all accept Maqasid. But to make the Maqasid the Maqasid and to kind of revamp the entire Sharia, yeah, or the fiqh based around Maqasid, I think this is another ijtihad. You're just replacing one ijtihad with another ijtihad. I don't think it's really, you're not really going to achieve the right thing, because you're just going to get, I think, because you see, the madhab system that's been developed is a very rigorous system that's been working and has been developed for hundreds of years. Now all of a sudden, if you start taking the Maqasid approach, you're going to get people who are not really as strong and well rooted in the traditional sciences, coming out with things which are going to be very sort of like half-baked in many cases. So, I don't really think the maqasid should be taken absolutely, but I think, yeah, there is scope for maqasid definitely to look into certain issues that we're facing in today's times. But I don't think it's a full maqasid kind of thing. Struggling with doing tarkeebs, any advice on how to improve? Tarkeebs, the best thing about tarkeebs is to do with the teacher. That's the best thing. Get a teacher, get someone who knows tarkeebs, sit with them, pay them even if you have to, and just do tarkeeb every day with them. MashaAllah, Kuwait, MashaAllah, Ahlan wa Sahlan, Marhaban, Marhaban, Ahla Kuwaita. Yeah, so are you from the Quetta city or are you from around Quetta? Yeah, I have lots of friends from Quetta. Yeah, even in England here, I've got some friends from Quetta as well. Yeah. What madhab would you be if it wasn't Hanafi, and why? What madhab would I be? I'd probably be Maliki, I think. I think Maliki would be the next best thing. Yeah, and the reason why Maliki is because the Maliki madhab and Hanafi madhab are very similar in their approach, in their usul. And obviously, Imam Muhammad studied under Imam Malik as well. And so there's lots of kind of goodness in there. Did you see that clip that was going around a few months ago, Dr. Asim Yusuf, on our fiqh faculty being pre-industrial? Any thoughts on that? Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. The fiqh, because remember, what you have to remember with fiqh is that when fiqh was being developed, yeah, I've only got 5 minutes left. So when fiqh was being developed, basically what was happening is that lots of the definitions and a lot of the ijtihad that was being done was done within sort of the limited resources that they had in their days. And a lot of the business mu'amalat that was being done was based upon the idea that the biggest business out there was going to be like, a family business that was going to work within, cities. I don't think they ever imagined that there's going to be in the future global companies that are going to work, multinational companies working around the world globally, and the transfer of money being instantaneous, and also things like different types of businesses that we're going to develop later on. So I definitely think that because of the pre-industrial society that was there at that time, after this, lots of masail had to change. And that's why if you read books like Mufti Taqi Usmani's book on Buyu, you'll see a lot of his opinions he's taken from other madhabs, because he has to kind of, for today's times, he has to kind of do that. Otherwise, it's very difficult for businesses to stick to just the Hanafi school. Okay, please continue Arabic Ibara reading sessions. Inshallah, Hafiz Shuaib, I will try to do that. Do you take any online classes? At the moment, I don't take any online classes at the moment, live classes. But I do, if you check my YouTube out, I've got lots of videos on there on different topics, on fiqh, on Arabic grammar, on Quran. So do you have to choose a madhab? If so, how? On reading classical texts. Classical texts, I don't do any live online classes, but like I said, if you go to my YouTube channel, and I've got a website as well called uruk.com, urooq.com, urooq.com, and on there I've done lots of lessons, pre-recorded lessons that are available. Okay, do you have to choose a madhab? If so, how? For the average person, all they have to do is they have to ask someone who's knowledgeable, to answer the Islamic questions. As long as you're asking someone who's knowledgeable about the Islamic questions, then you've absolved yourself of your duty. That's all you have to do. So you don't have to, for the average person, doesn't have to go and find out about the madhab, because for them the madhab is something which is very difficult to understand. So as long as they've gone to the average scholar, that's what the Quran says. Fas'alu ahla dhikr, you ask the people who have knowledge, and that's it. And if you look for someone who you believe is someone who is God-fearing, someone who is knowledgeable. Ask them your questions. Whatever answer they give you, inshallah, those answers you can act upon. Wa alaikum assalam, Sida Ahmad. Do I pronounce it correctly? Sida Ahmad. I was raised in Dudley, but now live in Southeast. I wish I was back so I could access the Birmingham Islamic education. It seems to be really flourishing there. Is that true? Well, I'm here, so yes, it's true. Not a joke. Yeah, alhamdulillah. It's good. Okay, how tall are you? Let me guess. Go on, Usman. Guess how tall I am. Okay, what do you think about schools of jurisprudence being the model for the inns of courts as proposed by of court? For the inns of court as proposed by Maqasidis. I don't understand that. Yes, I'm 5'10". Alhamdulillah. 5'10", guys. Do you think about the school's jurisprudence being the model for the Inns of Court? I don't understand that. You need to elaborate on that. What that means. Yeah, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Asking the height is not a dumb question. This is, I mean, doctors ask your height as well. So I don't know. You might be a doctor. Yeah. So it's a relevant question. So anyway, I've only got a few minutes left, guys. So Jazakumullah khair. If you have any other quick questions, I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, thank you very much, guys, for watching. And just to repeat it again, my laptop is playing up, so that's why this week the videos, I haven't uploaded many videos. I've been experiencing problems. The memory is getting full and it's starting to slow down, and then all of a sudden halfway through it cuts off, and then it's a big headache when you're doing editing. Okay. Best online Arabic resources. Best, I mean, in what way do you mean best online Arabic resources? Do you mean like recorded lessons, or do you mean just general, just reading books to read, to download, or I mean, if you go on YouTube and like Arabic, or you want to learn Arabic, there are so many resources available. I mean, that might be actually a good idea for me to go through YouTube, try to find good channels, YouTube channels out there, and show you guys. But the thing is, with these kind of resources is that how much are people going to benefit from these? That's the thing, isn't it? It's like a lot of people, they get demotivated or they burn out when they're self-studying. So it all depends. Jazakallah khair, Sid Ahmed. Yes, ask away, inshallah. For your time, Allah bless you. Ameen. Osman. Don't forget to respond to my email, please, Ustaz. No rush, just a reminder. Inshallah. Fiqh resources. I mean, in what language are you referring to? Okay, what's your thoughts on Saudi kings and the hadith related to infighting between rulers at the end of time? Does this refer to the ruling family? I mean, infighting has always occurred. We have to remember historically. Sometimes what happens is when we're unaware of history, that Muslim history, Islamic history, we forget that when sometimes the hadith is mentioned, the hadith doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be something which is going to occur later on in history. It could occur immediately after the time of the Sahaba. So we've had fighting among Muslim leaders, for centuries. In Spain, that's one of the biggest things in Spain. And from what I've heard in Portugal, that's another thing that we get as well, that people inside the kind of thingy causing problems. So we've always had that. I don't think it's just a recent problem. I think it's been there for quite a while. But obviously, the things that are happening in Saudi is like for the first time, which we're seeing for the first time. Like I mentioned this before, it's very, 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 very strange when it comes to, like the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he mentions that time, the day of judgment will not come until the women of Dos will be moving their backsides. That's what the hadith says. Will be shaking their backsides around the idol of Dhul Khalsa. So I actually, when I was teaching this hadith in where I teach, I actually researched this and I found Dos is actually the area which is below Jeddah, around Jeddah, or south of Jeddah, something like that. So they're actually planning to build this new sort of resort place just off the island of Firas Island, just off Saudi Arabia on the western coast. And look at that, I mean, first time ever you're having concerts there of people like this, and you never had this from the time of the Sahaba, from my knowledge, and someone might correct me. And the first time you're having all this kind of openness of things which seem to be very contradicting Islam. I mean, so the first time seeing all of this, it's like, it makes a person question, like, think, I mean, these are hadith the Prophet mentioned, they seem to be manifesting themselves now. So, tall buildings and all of that, they all seem to be happening in a very short span of time. Okay, so next question. English and Hanafi fiqh. Okay, so English and Hanafi fiqh. Okay, I mean, if you go onto YouTube, but this Arabic is really good. It's Dr. Salah Abul Hajj. He's kind of covered many of the Hanafi texts, but in Arabic though. That's the only problem. I'm thinking of doing something similar, but in English. So hopefully that should be done. Let me try to have a look for something, then I'll get back inshallah. Okay, which Arabic for Tarkeeb of Quran, which Arabic, many Arabic books. There's some called I'rab al-Quran. Try to look for I'rab al-Quran, and those are the best ones. Wa alaikum assalam wa afiyah ustad. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. For those interested in tafsir, what is the good book to start with? Some suggested Ibn Juzay. It depends. I mean, when it comes to tafsir, I always say to students, do not jump into tafsir. First of all, understand what the Quran is saying through the Arabic language. And then after that, use the tafsir as like a support to try and clarify things which you don't understand in the tafsir. That's what I always say. Ibn Juzay is very good, very nice, concise. There's also a few more that have been written recently. Tafsir al-Wasit is a very nice one. Al-Wasit, very kind of easy to follow. There's also Tafsir Munir by Wahab al-Zuhaili. Very nice, very easy Arabic as well, and it's got a little like sarf section, nahu section under under section of ayat. So I think that's a very nice one to follow. Tafsir al-Munir. Paid comments. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair, Usman. Jazakumullah khair. By the way, Usman, do you speak Pashto? Do you speak Bori? Why don't you teach a particular lesson one after the other? Because it seems times confusing. It's sometimes confusing. One lesson after another. I don't understand. If you can explain that one. What is the tariqah? Is it a good thing? What is tariqah? Is it a good thing? Tariqah, you mean like path, a way? I don't understand tariqah. If you can clarify that as well. Wa iyyakum crypto. Where's Dark Saber? Dark Saber's not here today, man. Commentary on Sahih Muslim in Arabic or Urdu, mainly for Anjuman Bayans. A good one is there's one that I recently came across. It's a very recently written one, Arab one. It's a very nice one. It's called something Mun'im, I think. I can't remember what it's called. Mun'im, something Mun'im. Mun'im, look for that name. I think it's Mun'im. It's a very nice one. It's got nice points as well. It's listed, that kind of fawaid that you can learn from it. So Sahih Muslim, yeah, that'd be a good one. But for Anjuman, why don't you use Riyadh al-Salihin, one of the sharhs of Riyadh al-Salihin? That would be much better. Like Dalil al-Falihin. Very good. Fatima. Okay, MH. I love Safat Tafasir. Yeah, Safat Tafasir is a very good to follow. If you are praying Salah on a chair. Yeah, praying Salah on a chair. If you're ma'adur, if you're ill, there's scope for it. But ideally, try to sit on the floor. I speak Urdu because I was raised in USA. Oh, you speak Urdu, yeah? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, MH is that by Sabuni. Assalamu alaikum, Astar. How are you, Imran Afsar? Haven't long time no see. I know a little Pashto. It's a shame. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. Inshallah, I'll teach you some, man. Yeah, my Pashto is in Pashto. I was actually thinking of doing some videos in Pashto. Think about that, guy. Yeah, let that sink in, guys. Alaikum assalam. Aisha, what was the last tafsir kitab you mentioned? Will I be able to find online? Yeah, Tafsir al-Munir. Try to do. I'll put in the comments. If someone after this video finishes, in the comments, put in the comments the things that you want, and I'll try to answer them and put the links up there. Otherwise, I'll forget. Like a Sufi Tariqa group, I know the Sufi is good, but can you explain the relevance of Tariqa groups and what is the difference between them? Okay, I'll speak about that. Okay, can you please upload Tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha part 3 and 4? Actually, I don't really have part 3 and 4. I've lost it. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to it. It's got lost. It's not just 3 and 4. It's actually 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 4 other parts to it. Okay. All right. So, I see what you're saying, Sidi Ahmed. You're saying, okay. See, the problem is a lot of people have asked me to make different types of videos. For not all the videos are aimed at one person. So some are aimed at advanced people. Some are aimed at people who are beginners. So that's why I focus on different things. Okay. So I just mentioned a little about tariqah, Sufi tariqah. So look, basically, when it comes to kind of practicing the deen, technically we only have to follow whatever Allah and the Prophet ﷺ told us. That's all we need. However, sometimes what happens is a person doesn't really know, just like in studies, a person needs like a teacher's guidance to know how to study properly. Yeah, like the ins and outs, or what's the best way, or what's this and what's that. So this is why Sufi tariqas are simply like, there's a guy who's like a physician, a medical physician. He's an expert in a certain thing. You go to him and he just tells you from the medical sort of supply, he tells you which medicines are best for which illness. So the Sufi Tariqa expert, person who's got lots of experience in this field, will tell you, doing this will save you from jealousy. Doing this will save you. Based on, it should all be based on Quran and Sunnah, obviously. But this is what he should tell you. That, for example, like, if you read this surah, right, then this helps you in easing yourself from anger. Or, for example, if a person is in a situation where they don't thank Allah, try this too. So it's basically like management. When people kind of go to these courses and learn management skills, it's basically like that, really. You kind of basically fine tune yourself into try and becoming a better Muslim by bringing those characteristics into your life, and then you just do it through a mentor. So you find someone who is well versed in this, skilled in this. Like, imagine you were living in the time of the Sahaba, and you could choose one Sahabi, and this one Sahabi would kind of give you tips and advice on how to practice Islam the best. Who would you choose? Like, I would choose Umar radiallahu anhu for some reason. I would love to sit in his company, and I would love to him correct me in mistakes I'm making, and I'd love to ask him things that he has so much connection with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he would know. Like, I believe that he would know like the ins and outs of problems in life. So maybe if I'm going through some problems where I'm getting angry too much, and ask him, what did you learn from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about anger? So he would kind of maybe tell me. So this is something which basically, to my understanding, Sufi Tariqa is all about. Okay, so if you do a course on mantiq, it will be awesome, much needed, and local Islamists. Yeah, inshallah, I'm actually at the moment writing one up. So first of all, when I do a course, what I do is I write it up first of all. I have in my exercise book, and then I try to come out with really relevant sort of ways of teaching it, and then I upload it. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Anyway, Jazakumullah khair, guys. May Allah keep all of you safe, and may Allah protect all of you and give you barakah in your wealth and health. And the Jummah has started, so may Allah, maybe Allah accepts our du'as and send great salutations to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because it's Friday as well, and this is the best time for our du'as to be accepted as well. Okay, just last questions. Can I pray behind someone who has who shirk, giving and writing stuff for people to use? Who shirk? I mean, if someone's done clear shirk, like if someone's an idol worshipper, you can't pray behind them. But if you have doubts whether they have, then you can pray behind them. It has to be clear cut. Jazakallah, look forward to hearing from you as well. Does that mean that you follow tariqah? I know Mufti Abdul Rahman mentioned explaining things. I don't really follow a tariqah. I kind of just follow the teachings of my teachers that I studied from. So their advices that they gave, and so I don't really stick to one sort of like way of that's just my personal thing. And I kind of what my teachers told me, if I have to consult someone, I consult people I believe who are experts in things. Sometimes when I have spiritual problems, I'll refer to people who I have respect for, and they'll give me some advice. Just like Sahaba, when they would go to each other and they would tell each other about their spiritual problems, and they would kind of give them advice on it. So that's just my way. But anyway, Jazakumullah khair, guys, and take care.